Hi friends, my name is Bhavya Mangla. I'm an IATF certified auditor and I'm doing audits in automotive sector for the last 17 years. So today I'm going to talk about another interesting topic that is related to process approach. It's a series going on of 8 different series of videos which is related to quality management principle. Wherein the first one was with respect to all the principles that I talked about. Then from second video, I specifically started talking about each principle. I talked about customer focus, leadership, engagement of people, and today I'm going to talk about process approach. Edward Deming has very rightly said that we should work on the process and not on the output of the process. If you see around, then everything that we are doing is a process. Say, for example, I am giving this presentation through video. So, in this also, it's a process wherein there is some input, we are doing some activity, and there is a tangible or intangible output that is going to come from this process. So, before going further, let me just tell you what is the key difference between process and process approach. When we talk about a process, we are talking about some inputs in which we are doing some processing and it is giving some tangible or intangible output. When we take it little further about it, then to get the desired output, we need certain resources, we need some procedure, we need some other processes to support that process, and we also need some performance indicator to see that whatever we are achieving, whether it is as per the requirement or not. So in a way, I am talking about turtle diagram here. Now, this is just one process. But if you talk about an organization, there are different processes, starting from sales process, new product development process, purchasing, production planning, quality, and dispatch. When the output of one process goes to another process, and that output becomes an input of another process, when we combine together all, that's what we call it as process approach. So in short, process is one particular activity we are talking input to output, and when we talk about process approach, it is sequence of different activities when we combine together that we call it as a process approach. Now that brings to the next question, that why we need a process approach. So there are many different reasons for which we can need it. First of all, it helps us to understand what are the different interrelated and interacting activities which are happening in an organization. When we say interrelated, the intent is that what is the sequence of different activities that one thing lead to another and another to another. And when we talk about interacting, the intent is that how one process or one activity is impacting other things. Say for example, if we get a customer complaint, so it may not be only dealing with one process, a sales process, but it can be with new product development process also, production, quality, maintenance, HR. It could be interacting with any other process. So that's what is the meaning of interacting process. Then the next reason why we need process approach is it helps us to understand and make sure that the organization will get reliable and predictable results. It also helps the organization to understand that what are the resources that are being needed. It also helps the organization to verify that whatever controls that the organization has planned, whether they are within the requirement or not. So that brings to the next question, how to implement process approach. So you must have heard about PDCA, plan, do, check, act. Some people also call it Deming cycle, and the risk-based thinking. So if we talk about ISO 9001 as well as IATF 16949, so they will very clearly say that process approach is coupled with PDCA and risk-based thinking. So when we want to implement certain things, then we need to follow PDCA cycle. To tell a little bit more about what is PDCA, when we talk about first thing, that is planning, it means we plan what we want to achieve. We also plan when we want to achieve. We also plan how to achieve. We also plan that what are the possible risks which are there and what to do with respect to that. Once this planning part is complete, then we do the second part, that is do. We actually do that particular activity. And when we do that particular activity, apart from doing that activity, we also make sure that what are the risks are there, whether we are working as per those risks or maybe the actions to avoid the risk. Then comes the third part, C, check. Now we check that whatever we planned, whether we have achieved or not. Whatever target that we set, whether we are achieving as per the customer requirement or as per the organization requirement or not. So here we also look into the risk part also, that whatever risk that we identified in the beginning, have we worked effectively with respect to that or we have failed somewhere. And the last thing is action. So here we see that whatever we did, whether it was as per the expectation, if it is yes, then how to sustain that, and if not, what to do further to improve it further. So when an organization works as per the PDCA approach as well as looking into the risk-based thinking, we can ensure that effectiveness of process approaches there in the organization. Then it brings the next question, that what are the benefits organization can get when they implement process approach. So first of all, the results become predictable. Secondly, the customer satisfaction enhances. Thirdly, we always know that what is the gap between what is our expectation, what exactly we are getting, so that we can bridge that particular gap, and overall it enhances the motivation morale of the people. And it brings to the last question, what are the possible challenges that industry is facing at the moment with respect to process approach? The first and the foremost is how many organizations actually understands what is process approach. Then the second part is, even they understand, do they involve PDCA approach to see that process approach is effectively implemented? And thirdly, whether they are implementing risk-based thinking while implementing the process approach in the organization. So in total, if I give a summary, I talked about what is a process, what is process approach, why we need to implement process approach, what are the benefits organization can get by using a process approach, how to implement process approach, and what are the present challenges with respect to that. So this is all about the process approach, the fourth quality management principle. My next video will be with respect to the improvements. Well, friends, I'm regularly getting a lot of feedbacks from your side, and it is helping me to understand your perspective and improving myself. I'm also understanding that you're liking this video and you want me to continue with this kind of videos. So if you think that is helping you in any way, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. And in case you want to understand a little bit more about this video, you can click the below link and you'll find a blog there, and there you'll find the things in more detail. Thank you.